My boyfriend accidentally started complaining about his junior schoolmate. Ivy is so stupid. She can't even make a PPT. Fortunately, I'm here to help her. Otherwise, the little girl would surely be crying from anxiety, but then again, she's quite cute, like a little kitten. After he finished speaking, I also imitated his manner and casually talked about the interesting things that happened today. Really? Our department also admitted a silly junior schoolmate this year. He can even fall down while walking. Today I just helped him to the hospital, and he sent me 99 roses. He's really stupid, but he looks a bit handsomer than you. By the way, baby, I have plans tonight, so I won't accompany you on Chichi Festival. Cashin was immersed in his own world and didn't reply to me for a long time. Only Felix, who was sitting next to him, couldn't help but laugh. Brother, your girlfriend is going to have a baby. I was casually drinking milk tea while typing, and from time to time I would blush and laugh a few times. When Cashin saw my expression, he seemed to realize something. His face looked a bit ugly and immediately he pulled me away from the dining table. After we got outside, Cashin took out his cigarette case in a bad mood and lit one up. I was busy replying to messages and didn't have time to pay attention to him, and unconsciously muttered aloud. So funny, you're so interesting, junior schoolmate. Hearing my words, Cashin was so angry that he threw his cigarette directly on the ground and snatched my phone away. He looked at my chat interface, shook his head disdainfully, and his voice became a bit angry. Isn't it just a meme of a dead pig? What's so funny about it? I quickly snatched it back and complained. It's just funny. Why are you so boring? Then I looked at him with a look of disgust and tut-tutted twice. What on earth do you want to say? It's so hot outside. Hurry up and finish talking. I have things to do tonight. Cashin got impatient too, but still looked at me in surprise. Things to do tonight? Wasn't it supposed to be the two of us going to the movies? What else do you have to do? I replied indifferently. Oh, I've already seen that movie before. You can find someone else to watch it with. Today I'm going to play games all night with someone else. It's much more interesting than your movie. After saying that, Cashin completely lost control and stomped his feet in impotent rage. Today is Chichi Festival. You're going to abandon your boyfriend and play games with someone else all night? I replied woodenly, innocently. Yes, isn't it okay? If you're bored, you can also go and play with someone else. I didn't stop you from playing. After saying that, I received another message on my phone. I couldn't help but burst out laughing again. Then I sent a voice message in reply. This animated picture is also really funny. I like it. Then I walked into the restaurant with my phone, ignoring Cashin, who was jumping with anger behind me. Almost when we were finishing eating, the junior schoolmate that Cashin had been talking about also showed up at the braised chicken and yellow sauce restaurant that we often frequented. Cashin saw her at first sight and excitedly introduced her to Felix. Felix, that's the stupid junior schoolmate I was talking about. How about it? Isn't she cute? Felix looked up at me, suppressing a smile at the corner of his mouth. Yes, she is quite cute. But I think you're also stupid and cute too. After saying that, he burst out laughing and sprayed saliva on Cashin's face. Sorry, bro. I couldn't hold it back. It's my fault. I'm too stupid. I'll punish myself with a drink. Then he picked up half a glass of juice and drank it all in one gulp. Cashin helplessly wiped off the fruit particles on his face and then obediently stretched out his hand to greet the junior schoolmate. What a coincidence. You're also here to eat. The junior schoolmate blushed and nodded, shyly holding her school bag with both hands and walking towards the ordering counter. During the process, she almost tripped herself accidentally. This made Cashin smile with vivid expressions. He murmured affectionately, "Silly girl, your shoelaces are untied." Saying that, he walked towards the junior schoolmate very helplessly. Felix asked me to look up and not just focus on my phone, otherwise my boyfriend might be snatched away by someone else. I shrugged indifferently and looked in the direction Felix pointed. I saw Cashin squatting on the ground to tie the junior schoolmate's shoelaces, even tying them into a bow. When he stood up he couldn't help but touch the junior schoolmate's head. How can you be so silly? You didn't even notice your shoelaces were untied. The junior schoolmate stared shyly at the ground. Sorry, senior, for making you worry, Cashin said helplessly and affectionately. Okay, be good. Go and eat quickly. After saying that, Cashin watched the junior schoolmate queue at the end and couldn't bear to leave for a long time. Finally, feeling really sorry for her, he snatched the junior schoolmate's number plate and stood in front of her. You go and sit down. I'll queue for you to avoid you being so stupid as to spill your food. The junior schoolmate excitedly made a face at him and then sat behind him. I, on the other hand, watched their actions expressionlessly. There was no ripple in my heart. Instead, the young waiter who served them kept attracting my attention. I watched him working seriously with satisfaction, feeling extremely comfortable in my heart. Felix was shocked when he saw that I didn't go and make a scene. Sister Maria, what's going on? You're not even going to make a fuss about this? Where's Sister Maria, who used to fight against an entire department? I mumbled an "ah" in confusion and replied casually. Those were just achievements from when I was young. Not worth mentioning. After saying that, I continued to watch the busy young waiter. I saw him fill Cashin's bowl of braised chicken in yellow sauce with potatoes. Only then did I burst out laughing. Then the young waiter scratched his head uncomfortably towards my position and smiled shyly twice. I silently gave him a thumbs up to praise him. Soon I also received a message on my phone. Senior, is there really someone who loves potatoes so much? Not eating any meat at all? So strange. I calmly replied. What's so strange about it? I love meat very much. I don't like any vegetables at all. After saying that, the young waiter's face turned a bit red, and I received another text message from him. I also like meat. I had a smile on my face as I typed. Don't forget to bring your ID card tonight. He replied instantly. Okay, I'll bring a few more boxes of that. I was just about to say that I liked strawberry flavor. Suddenly my phone was snatched away. I looked up and met Cashin's gaze. He was slowly going through my chat records. I wasn't afraid at all. I let him go through them slowly, and then watch him break down little by little. He was shocked. You've only added each other on WeChat for half a month, but you've talked so much already? No, why do you tell him everything? Even about the ants carrying away the ice cream you dropped on the ground, you're not ashamed to use it to be flirty? I'm really speechless. Why do you also tell him about my things? I was just early that one time. I'm very long-lasting at other times, okay? I see now. 80% of your chat content is about me. You're deliberately using him to make me jealous, right? By the end of it, he started to convince himself. Then it seemed as if he had guessed something, looking very confident and showing off to me. Humph, and what you said about bringing your ID card and bringing a few more boxes of something, it's actually just going to the internet cafe to play games together, right? You girls always use these little tricks, naughty. Ivy is different. She's so stupid. She definitely doesn't have as many tricks as you. I widened my eyes and said innocently. No, you've misunderstood. We're not going to play games together. We're going to get a room. Seeing his look of disbelief, it seemed as if he wanted to argue with me for a few more rounds. But I really didn't have the patience to confront him. After yawning, I started to be perfunctory. Yes, okay. You guessed right. Only your Ivy is stupid. Everyone else is smart, okay? Give me my phone back. I want to go home and take a bath first. Cashin was so angry that he laughed instead. He threw the phone on the table. No, are you serious? I gave him a meaningful look and then calmly watched him on the verge of breakdown. Cashin sensed my seriousness and seemed unable to accept such a change. After all, I used to chase him by fighting against an entire law department. I tore up hundreds of love letters and broke my fingernails several times. For someone who loved him as deeply as I did, how could it be possible to suddenly become ambiguous with someone else? In his view, all of this was too surreal. But I can only say that of course it didn't happen suddenly. If he hadn't hurt me first. How could I possibly treat him in the same way? It is said that a woman's love makes a man forget to look in the mirror. Indeed. Blame me for spoiling him too much and for there being so many people vying to take my place and surrounding him. That's why his attitude towards me has become colder and colder. And he's been flirting with some new girls. Actually, this junior schoolmate named Ivy isn't the first opposite sex he's talked about in front of me. Before her, there were Jiangyun from the dance department and Chang Han from the sports department. He always does this. He doesn't do anything drastic enough to make me completely hate him and break up with him once and for all. But he can't help but flirt with others, showing off his charm. I'm really tired. Tired, disgusted, and hesitating about whether to continue this relationship. After all, when I chased him before, I really put in a lot of effort. It would be too unwilling to end it like this. And it was during the time when I was hesitating. Silas appeared in front of me again. He is the nephew of the owner of this braised chicken and yellow sauce restaurant. I often saw him doing his homework in the store when I was in high school. When he had no classes, he would come to the store to help. This year, he happened to get admitted to our department, so I recognized him at first sight. Once I went downstairs to eat very late and happened to meet him alone in the store. He added a lot of chicken thigh meat for me, and the taste was better than before. I asked and found out that it was his own unique recipe. Later, in order to eat what he made by himself, we added each other on WeChat. Sometimes I would ask him to make it and deliver it to my home, and sometimes I would go down to eat when he was free. Gradually, we became familiar with each other. Actually, at the beginning, I was really aiming for the food. But after adding WeChat, I found out that he was quite interesting and we were quite fated. Every time Cashin stood me up, he could show up nearby. So in this half month, the movies that were supposed to be watched with Cashin, the escape rooms, the claw machines, and the music festivals, all were made up by him. As for what Cashin was doing during this time, I also found out from Felix. This summer vacation, he and Ivy got a part-time job, 80 yuan a day, working from 8 in the morning to 10 at night. Just making PPTs for a project. When I heard about the salary of that part-time job, I was completely speechless. Everyone in the school knew that Cashin was a rich second generation. Did he care about $80? $80 wasn't even enough to buy his socks. Wasn't he just trying to flirt with the junior girl and show off? Don't give me that crap about working part-time to support himself and experiencing life. But this time, I didn't act up like I used to. On the contrary, because of Silas's presence, I became much less irritable. Every time Cashin was struggling to earn that $80 with Ivy, I was having a great time with Silas, losing track of day and night. I know I'm not exactly a nice girl now. It's like a rope tying two people together. As the old saying goes, one is willing to fight and the other is willing to endure. It has never been wrong since ancient times. Silas was willing to be flirted with by me. And I was also willing to bear the bad reputation. Anyway, life can be summed up in 3 words. So what? Today, I'm just going to abandon my boyfriend and go to a hotel with Silas. Just think about it. Which girl wouldn't want to lie in the same bed with a guy who is 1.9 meters tall, has 8-pack abs, a nice voice, a gentle personality, can draw and cook? The key point is that he looks like my idol. Rounding it off, isn't it like I slept with my idol? Cashin read the chat records between Silas and me over and over again in front of me. He always thought that I was deliberately using Silas to make him angry. I was too lazy to explain anymore. Seeing that Silas was about to get off work soon, I snatched my phone and walked out of the restaurant without hesitation. But when I had freshened up, sprayed on some perfume and went downstairs, Cashin showed up downstairs at my place again. Maria, I know I've been a bit close to some girls, but I've never made any substantial mistakes. If you leave today, that's cheating. You'll be posted on the campus wall. In ancient times, you would have been drowned in a pig cage. He immediately grabbed my wrist as if trying to persuade me to turn back before it was too late. But I was thinking about my 1.9-meter tall idol in my mind. I didn't have the heart to deal with him at all, so I quickly ended the conversation. Okay, you're right. It's my fault. I'm sorry. If you want to post on the campus wall, go ahead. Remember to use the photo of the portrait I took in Luoyang in April. Don't use that ugly photo you took of me by the river. If you really don't know which one to use, send me a message in advance and I can take a new one for you. But I really have something urgent to deal with right now. I don't have time to argue with you. Can I apologize to you properly tomorrow? After saying that, I was in a hurry to hail a taxi. But Cashin blocked my way again, looking at me furiously. It's Chishi festival today. You have something urgent to do with another man? Who are you kidding? Then he used his ultimate move. He crossed his arms over his chest and turned his face to the side, looking exactly like an aggrieved little man. If you dare to leave today, we're breaking up. I clicked my tongue expressionlessly and then got into the taxi. Driver, take me to home quickly. Thank you. The next day at noon, when I opened my eyes, I finally didn't see Cashin's ugly face anymore. I immediately felt refreshed. After a few seconds, I contentedly asked Silas to move away from me. Then I covered my waist and went to the bathroom to wash up. After taking a shower and opening the door, I happened to see Silas washing my panties and white stockings in the sink. He looked a bit ashamed and said in a hoarse voice, "I'm sorry, Senior. I didn't prepare well enough. I forgot to buy you spare stockings." Then he shyly hung the washed panties on the hanger. His eyes were fixed on the torn part of the stockings and he was on the verge of crying. I was really surprised and froze on the spot, not knowing what to do. In the past, I had never received such treatment. I should be thankful that Cashin didn't ask me to wash his panties. Not to mention that both were in bed and both were men. There was a difference between one who kept the same position for 30 minutes and one who had dozens of positions in 3 hours. Before I could say a few words of comfort, my phone rang. I ran to the bed and opened it. It was Cashin's call. Judging from the call records, he had called more than a dozen times. But it showed that each call was hung up after a few seconds. I guessed that Silas had hung up for me while I was asleep. Not bad. He knew how to take care of his lover's sleep. I unconsciously gave him some extra points in my heart and then started talking. Hello? Only after I spoke did I realize that my voice was even hoarser than Silas's. I coughed a few times before my voice sounded somewhat normal. Cashin went completely crazy after hearing my voice. He directly shouted into the phone, so flustered that he couldn't even speak clearly. "Did you really do it with him? How did you do it?" After a 2-second silence in the atmosphere, he immediately explained. "No, how dare you do it? You already have a boyfriend." I hummed in response and said in a calm tone, "So what?" Now, the atmosphere became even more awkward. I was the first to break the silence. "Do you want to hear the details? I can write a 30,000-word short essay and send it to you." All I could hear on the other end was breathing, and then there were a few beeps and I was hung up. I shrugged helplessly and turned to meet Silas's gaze as he was trying to mend the stockings. "Sorry, you might have to be the male lead in a pornographic story." He didn't seem to care and was still focused on the stockings in his hand. Seeing how serious he was, I sighed and walked towards him. "Stop it. These are disposable." After saying that, I snatched the stockings from his hand and threw them into the trash can, covering some transparent balloons. Then I started packing up and went home to catch up on sleep. Silas seemed to want to say something, but I didn't give him a chance. I quickly grabbed my bag and left. It was only when I got home that I realized what he wanted to say. I wasn't wearing anything underneath. I received a picture from Silas on my phone. "Senior, did you forget to take this? There's too much moisture. It won't dry for a while. Should I blow it dry with a hair dryer and send it to you?" Seeing these words, it was hard for me not to think in a dirty way. After all, what he said was similar to what he said last night. After calming down, I sent a message saying no, and then started writing the 30,000-word details of what happened in bed. However, Silas didn't intend to let me go. He directly sent me a video of him blowing my panties dry with a hair dryer. The key point was that he was wrapped in a bathrobe from the waist down, and his upper body was exposed with his abs showing. When his upper arm drives his lower arm to move up and down while playing, the white bathrobe was faintly slipping down, gradually revealing his Adonis belt. At the end of the video, his movement seemed a bit too big and the bathrobe was suddenly pulled open. I exclaimed, "Oh my God." I opened my eyes wide, trying to see clearly. But the video just stopped there and there was no follow-up. It made me feel so restless. I watched it a few more times, trying to see something more exciting. The next second, a voice message popped up in the chat box. "Senior, it's dry now. Should I send it to you?" Silas's voice was so sweet that it was hard to refuse. So I was so bewitched that I asked him to come downstairs to my place. About half an hour later, I went downstairs to meet him. I happened to see him in Cashin at the entrance of the community. "Senior, I have a part-time job later. Could you please help me return the panties to the senior?" After saying that, he bowed deeply and waved his hand cutely. "Thank you, senior. Happy Chishi festival to you too." Cashin was so angry that he chased after him and cursed. "Thanks for nothing. I'm very happy. I don't need your blessing." Of course Cashin couldn't catch up. He ran a few steps and then came back. When he saw me, he pushed the box containing the panties in front of me and said with a slight reproach, "How could you forget to wear this? When we were together, I didn't see you being so forgetful." I was silent for a few seconds, unable to believe that these were the words he should say when facing his cheating girlfriend. I even thought that for someone as face-conscious as him, he should have directly blocked and deleted me, posted me on the campus wall, or made a PPT with hundreds of pages to let the netizens condemn me. But what was going on with his current tone? Why did I have the illusion that he was just going along with the mistake and tolerating it as much as he could? I cleared my throat and started to be polite in my words. "I was just in a hurry and forgot to wear them. Just give me the things and go back quickly. Don't you have a part-time job today? Otherwise, your salary will be deducted. $80 can buy a lot of things." He gave two bitter laughs and then said in a compromising way, "Maria, I've already quit that part-time job. I thought a lot last night. I promised to accompany you this summer vacation, but I neglected you because of $80. It's my problem. All the rest of my time is yours. Let's forget about the past and start over, okay?" I closed my eyes for 3 seconds on the spot. What are you talking about? I really couldn't find the right words to describe my current mood. I could only try to make myself black out to numb myself from those indescribable words I just heard. "Did someone poison your food? How could you say such self-humiliating words? Or do you have some special fetish?" Cashin looked at me blankly. "I just don't want to lose you. You know, in the 2 years we've been together, I've always been well behaved and never had any excessive behavior with other women. That's all because I only like you. I got close to the girls from the sports department or that Ivy yesterday just because I wanted to get your attention, to make you think that I'm chased by many people besides you, so that you would feel a sense of crisis and want to hide me like a treasure. But you left with that guy who sells braised chicken and brown sauce yesterday, and I was really angry." As he said that, he started making some expressions that I couldn't understand. Pouting, blinking, being coy. I asked uncomfortably in return. "Just angry?" He hummed in response and his tone became very confident. "Maria, I know you. You won't really betray me. You've always been pure and wouldn't be so casual. You're just like me, wanting to make me jealous and get my attention, so you went to the hotel with someone else. Actually, you didn't do anything, just slept, right?" I was so surprised that I was stunned. How could he say such things while looking at the hickey on my neck? How did he suddenly become so stupid? Could it be that people are influenced by their company? Had he become so innocent and harmless after spending a long time with Ivy? Cashin walked towards me while talking and then reached out his hand to hold mine. I was so scared that I dodged to the side. "Okay, stop being angry. How about I take you to celebrate Chishi Festival on a cruise ship today? I've specially booked a cruise ship. Go and freshen up. We'll celebrate Chishi Festival on the cruise ship." My heart was pounding and I backed away several steps in fright. "No, no. I didn't sleep at all last night. I don't have the energy to celebrate Chishi Festival again. I looked up to meet Cashin's gaze and there was a moment of loneliness in his eyes. Then he forced a smile. Baby, I've already forgiven you. I don't care that you left me last night to be with another man. Let's be good. Stop misleading me. I looked at him with a look as if I had seen something disgusting. He didn't seem to care, but I was even more irritated. Now I guess it would be hard to convince him no matter what I said. So I straightforwardly opened my phone and found a few photos from last night. Look carefully. This isn't yours, right? And these abs aren't yours either, right? Oh, right. And this animated picture. Look at the strength. It's not you either, right? And this pose, you can't do it either, right? Do you want to confirm the voice too? Didn't you say you liked me a lot? Then you should be able to easily tell the difference in my voice when I'm aroused, right? Listen. What's the difference from what you heard before? I showed him the photos one by one. After looking at each photo, his expression became ferocious. His chest heaved up and down and it seemed that white smoke could come out of his nostrils. Finally, he said something in great disbelief. Really, really that big? I affirmed. Yes. Now that the evidence is conclusive, I did cheat on you. Can we break up now? Can you post about me on the campus wall now? After saying that, I blocked him right in front of him. See clearly. The following are the necessary operations for breaking up. Delete on WeChat, unfollow and block on Douyin, unbind on Pinduoduo, and log out of video memberships. Delete photos with one click, and change the profile picture and username completely. By the way, I have a saved template for a real name posting here. You can refer to it if you don't have any ideas. Still, the key point is that you must get my permission before posting any photos. After finishing the last operation, I turned around and left his site immediately. Not giving him any chance to persuade me to stay. After breaking up with Cashin, he never harassed me again. As for the campus wall, I refreshed it every hour. I didn't see any posts accusing me either. Until before the start of the new semester, my life around me was very quiet. I slept until the afternoon every day, then got up and went to eat a plate of braised chicken in yellow sauce with extra chili and meat. After eating, I'd have a nighttime activity, either going to play a script murder game or going to a bar. I simply loved this period of time. Today, as usual, I was about to wash my face and go downstairs to eat after waking up. Just as I reached downstairs, I was stopped by a middle-aged woman. I gave her an annoyed glance. Aunt Duan, I've already broken up with your son. There's no need to force me to leave him anymore, right? Her expression was a bit helpless and she sighed. I'm not here today to persuade you to leave Cashin. I let out a questioning "oh." Then what are you here for? To laugh at me? It's not that I don't respect my elders. It's that she doesn't deserve my respect. During the 2 years I was with Cashin, I was often forced by her to leave Cashin. Either by offering me money as a bribe, or by using studying abroad as a condition. In short, in her eyes, I was just like a poor and shabby girl who was seducing a rich young master. But I was upright and stayed with Cashin under great pressure. If I had known it would turn out like this, I would have taken 5 million and left 2 years ago. Then I wouldn't have had to endure this humiliation for 2 more years. Seeing that my attitude wasn't good, she forcibly held back her temper, then took out a card and said arrogantly, "There's 5 million in here. Don't break up with my son." During this period of time, Cashin locked himself in his room without eating or drinking. Although I don't like you, Cashin is my son. I can't watch him sink like this. To be honest, during the 2 years he was with you, his depression did get a lot better. I'm actually quite grateful to you. I won't interfere in your affairs anymore. And you don't have to be afraid that I won't let you into the family. As long as Cashin wants to marry you, I have no objections. But the premise is that you enter the family empty-handed. If you get divorced someday, you must also leave empty-handed. Got it? Take the card and get in the car with me. I'll take you to see my son. I was shocked and said sarcastically, I'm really impressed. The skin of you Duan family members is really thick. She heard the meaning in my words and reached out to hit me, but she held back. Rude, ill-mannered. I don't know what Cashin likes about you. What? You think it's not enough money? You should be content. This money is enough for a commoner like you to spend a lifetime. I rolled my eyes at her, threw out the words, a bunch of idiots, and went to the braised chicken and yellow sauce restaurant. By the evening, the post about me that I had been expecting finally appeared on the campus wall. There were more than 100 pages, written very clearly as if introducing my life story. Most of it was about saying that I was a poor and shabby girl who spent all of Cashin's living expenses, made him buy me bags and cosmetics. Finally, on the Chishi festival, I ran away with a poor guy, causing Cashin to have a depression attack and be on the verge of death at home. Unfortunately, there were only angry written descriptions in his post. There were no pictures, transfer records, or real object pictures. Of course there wouldn't be these things, because I had never spent Cashin's money. I knew the huge gap in our family status, so every time we ate, we went to the small restaurants near the school. We watched discounted movies, played script murder games and sang karaoke. We either split the bill or went during the activity time. Obviously, his post was not convincing at all. So the comment section below the post was all scolding Cashin. There were even many girls posting the chat records of Cashin flirting with them. So, after the hype, the post was quickly deleted. Just 1 minute after it was deleted, Cashin appeared at the entrance of the braised chicken and yellow sauce restaurant. I hadn't seen him for a few days, and he looked much more haggard. His face was so swollen that it looked like he had eye bags. I picked up a piece of meat and put it in my mouth, looking at him casually. He walked over and said hoarsely, "Let's talk." It seemed that he had a cold. I immediately changed my seat to keep a physical distance. I didn't write the post. It was my mother who asked someone to write it. I've already deleted it. I simply replied that. He continued to speak. Can we really not go back? Before I could answer, Silas suddenly walked out from the kitchen. He poured a cup of warm water for Cashin, then pretended to be concerned and said, "Senior, have some water. Look at your dry lips. You must be lacking kisses, so pitiful." Then Silas walked in front of me, right in front of him, looking at me with a proud expression. He put his arm around my shoulders to assert his dominance. Fortunately, I have someone to kiss. The meaning was self-evident. Cashin tilted his head back and drank the water, then left in a luxury car without saying a word. After he left, I pushed Silas away. Thank you for this period of time. Oh, by the way, about what happened on the Chishi festival, neither of us lost out. What's done is done. We'll still be schoolmates in the future. You go ahead and get busy. I'll go back. A shadow immediately appeared on Silas's face. He chuckled and then teased, "I didn't expect the senior to be such a slut. Pretending to be cute, and cute doesn't win your favor." Then, I was pulled by him into a small alley outside the restaurant. I don't know why, but even though he had been in the kitchen for so long, he didn't have any strange smell on him. There was even the fragrance of lily-scented body wash. And in the next second, his words gave me the answer. He propped his elbows on the wall to trap me in the middle, looking at me with cold eyes. "Senior, do you know? I wash myself really clean every day, afraid that I might miss your whim one day." "But, senior, which teacher taught you that you can kiss and touch the junior freely and then deny knowing him after putting on your pants? Didn't any teacher tell you that junior boys have a strong addiction and once is never enough?" I tensed up and replied to him with the words I had used when I first approached him. "Didn't we agree that day that we were just helping each other? You said you wanted to try it for the first time, and I happened to be dumped by my boyfriend and needed you to make him jealous. We were just helping each other and it was only supposed to be once. How can you go back on your word? I should have found someone I could pay instead." In the end, I felt a bit aggrieved and looked at him with dissatisfaction. Silas seemed even more aggrieved than I was. All his bold words in his heart finally turned into just 3 unconvinced words. "Senior, you..." I took the opportunity to push his elbow away. "All right, I've got something urgent to deal with later. I'm leaving now." After saying that, I was about to leave. The next second, he almost pinned me against the wall with a slap of his palm. I glanced at the arm beside my ear out of the corner of my eye and swallowed hard. I was so afraid that he might slap me to death that my eyes immediately became much milder. Senior, that sentence of yours sounds so familiar. Silas's voice sounded very angry and his breathing was irregular. When I heard it, indeed, I had also said this sentence to Cashin. At that time, I was on the phone with Silas. So, he had heard it, saying the same thing to different exes. No wonder he was angry. I smiled awkwardly and explained. I'm just going to sing songs with the junior boys in the club. Only after I said it did I realize that I had made another mistake. I saw that Silas's face turned livid and he stared straight at me. Boys? Senior, you? He was so angry that he finally yanked off the apron on his body and resumed the posture he had at the beginning. He pinned me in the middle with his elbows and said seriously, "Forget it. I'll just be straightforward. Senior, I like you. I've liked you since you were with Cashin. I hoped every day that you two would break up. I even deliberately hung around you just to let you know that besides that scumbag, there was also a handsome and cute junior boy like me around you as a backup." I was stunned. When I was with Cashin, you were only... Yes, I was in senior year of high school. I took the entrance exam for this university just because of you. Silas interrupted me and said forcefully. I was shocked and covered my mouth, letting out a low scream. You wanted to be a mistress when you were in senior year of high school? He was angered by my words and the aggrieved tears welled up in his eyes. Keep your voice down. It's not something glorious. Of course I didn't want to be a mistress. Who would want to be a mistress? I'm not a mistress. It's just that the person I like happened to already have someone he liked. Don't slander me. As he talked, he no longer had the imposing manner he had just now. Tears suddenly fell to the ground like raindrops. Then he squatted down by himself, hugged his head and cried bitterly, which made me at a loss. Just then, the owner of the braised chicken and brown sauce restaurant came out to throw away the garbage and saw the scene. He shouted, "Nephew, why are you crying? Who bullied you?" Silas buried his head in his knees and waved his hand at him. The owner was sensible. He held back his smile at the corner of his mouth and quickly disappeared at the entrance of the alley. I was feeling awkward when coincidentally, I received a message on my phone. It was a video sent by the junior boys in the club. They were singing songs in a colorful KTV and then called my name one by one in front of the camera. "Senior Maria, where are you? We're all waiting for you." I was so nervous that I immediately turned off my phone and then met Silas's gaze. He looked so aggrieved and pitiful. "Don't leave me behind." I scratched my neck. "But I've already promised them." Seeing that I was in a difficult situation, he didn't force me to stay. He suddenly stood up. "Then take me with you. One more junior boy won't make a difference, and one less won't matter either." "Right, senior?" Blushed by his pestering, I nodded reluctantly. On the way to the KTV, Cashin's mother contacted me again. "I'm begging you. Please stop making trouble. He really can't live without you. He hasn't been himself since he came back after seeing you. He just threatened to jump off the building. If our villa wasn't that low, my son would be dead by now. He's in the emergency room now. For the sake of the 2 years you've been together, can't you be soft-hearted just this once? Are you so heartless? Let your former lover die because of you?" I stared at the phone and smiled inexplicably. "Auntie, 2 years ago when he had a depression attack, I saved him once. As a result, I was the one who got hurt all over. If I go there again today, it'll be the same thing all over again. Don't call me again. I suggest the best thing for you to do is to take him abroad and don't let him appear in front of me. Otherwise, if one day he happens to see me having a sweet moment with my boyfriend and he can't bear it and jumps off again, I can't guarantee how high the building will be then." After saying that, I blocked her number and ignored her. When we arrived at the KTV, several junior boys were singing. I quietly went in and then they swarmed around me. Suddenly, I felt very nervous. I was both happy and timid. After all, the junior boy beside me had just confessed his love to me. It would be a bit embarrassing if he saw this scene. He might think that I was so flirtatious. I smiled obsequiously, sat aside, picked up the microphone and started humming along. Nice, nice. But just after I sang a few notes, Silas came and sat beside me. I dodged slightly and he didn't follow up. He just leaned a bit closer and said something to me. I can also sing well. Do you want to listen? Before I could answer, he went to the song ordering machine to order a song. After ordering the song and coming back, he sat beside me and swayed with me while holding the microphone. During the wait for the song, some junior boys wanted to come and strike up a conversation with me. But he snatched the conversation every time. Senior isn't feeling well today and can't drink. I can also sing this love song. I'll sing a duet with you. Taking pictures? My arms are long. I'll take pictures with you. It seemed that the whole place was centered around him. Seeing that there was no place for me, I went to the washroom. When I came out, I happened to run into Ivy. She was the girl who had an ambiguous relationship with Cashin some time ago. But now, she didn't look innocent and cute at all. She was wearing a tight dress. Her two braids before were now let down and curled into big waves. With red lips and a deep V-neck, she was sexy and charming. She was a woman that Cashin didn't deserve at all. Even I felt inferior when I saw her and had to lower my head when walking past her. She took the initiative to exchange greetings with me first. Senior is here too. Ivy was touching up her makeup and looking at me through the mirror. I forced myself to hum in response and walked outside the washroom. But just as I walked out, I heard a boy calling "baby" behind me. I turned around and saw an extremely handsome boy hugging Ivy against the wall and kissing her. Ivy seemed to notice my gaze and glanced at me. The man, seeing that she was distracted, bit her painfully. Ivy cursed, "Get lost. I'll never go back to my old flame." Then she pushed the man away and walked towards me. Ivy was getting closer and closer, but I finally couldn't help asking her. "You and Cashin aren't together?" Ivy thought for a while and then said. "So that short-legged rich second generation who is good at making PPTs is called Cashin?" Me. Alright. His proportions aren't that good. Ivy clicked her tongue in disdain and then her tone was full of sarcasm and hatred. He didn't even sleep with me and wasted my hotel money. On Chishi Festival, he spent half an hour ordering a Didi in the hotel but still couldn't get up. I was so angry that I pulled up my pants and left. I don't know how you endured it for 2 years. You must have been really frustrated. By the way, I heard that you slept with Silas from the art department. How was he in bed? Was he good? He has such a handsome face that makes people crazy. When you get tired of him, can you let me have him? I felt so embarrassed. When I was with Cashin before, I really didn't pay much attention to this aspect. I thought that as long as I called his name a couple of times to please him, he would be happy and our sexual life would be considered harmonious. But since that time with Silas, I finally knew what real sexual pleasure was. Now hearing Ivy say this, I felt even more aggrieved about the 2 years with Cashin. Fortunately, I stopped in time and was content. As for her question about whether to let him go or not, I thought that Silas wasn't an item. I didn't have the right to give him away casually, so I just smiled politely and left. When I returned to the private room, it was just time for Silas's song. He was singing an old Cantonese song. The name of the song was "Cold Rainy Night." I didn't know anything about the prelude. It was only when the chorus came that I realized which song it was. Instantly, my impression of Silas shot up to 100 points. Then, his affectionate shouts came to my ears. "On a cold rainy night, I'm by your side, hoping you'll know. You should know that my heart has already changed compared to before. We're just getting along reluctantly. On a cold rainy night, I don't want to go home, afraid to see your back. I can only smile bitterly at the raindrops. Who knows that I don't have the courage to make it clear? What a pity." During the interlude, he stared at me tightly. I blushed under his gaze and he just smiled. After he finished singing and came back, he walked straight towards me. This time, I didn't dodge and left a place for him. A hint of smugness flashed across Silas's mouth and then he leaned close to my ear. There was a bit of alcohol in his breath and his eyes were full of tenderness. Senior, was it nice? My cat can also sing Cantonese songs. Do you want to come home with me to listen? I asked back, cat? Without hesitation, he said, yes. Meow, I was amused by his look. I was just about to answer. But before I could open my mouth, the door of the private room was opened. Looking towards the door, it was Ivy standing there leaning against the door with half a bottle of wine in her hand. As soon as she came in, everyone's eyes were fixed on her and couldn't be moved away, including mine. Only Silas in the whole room didn't look at her because he was waiting for my answer wholeheartedly. Ivy first scanned the junior boys around and then also looked at me. Senior, how's the fun? Are you happy? I just nodded and then she continued. Senior, which one are you taking home today? Take your pick as an apology. I'll just take whoever is left after you. I looked around at the junior boys. They were all extremely handsome. Just as I was about to speak, Silas got dissatisfied. You really want to pick when she asks you to? He looked at me unconvinced. Then he looked at Ivy with disgust and gave her a fierce look. Ivy pursed her lips and joked. Looks like the senior has someone already. What about you guys? Is there anyone who wants to come home with me? Several junior schoolmates raised their hands one after another while I was led out of the private room by Silas that he dragged me to walk for 2 kilometers on foot. Finally, when I was so exhausted that I almost fainted, he was willing to take a taxi. When we arrived at his place, as soon as he opened the door, a group of cats rushed towards me. I was so startled that I took a step back. After rubbing my eyes, I realized that those cats looked somewhat familiar. Silas led me inside and introduced them to me one by one. Don't you remember? This is the stray cat you fed at the entrance of my uncle's store. Its eye was damaged by a bad kid with a pen. But your family didn't allow you to keep a cat, so you often came to my uncle's store to feed it. Oh, and that one, the calico cat downstairs in your neighborhood. Every time you couldn't find it, you would put some cat food beside the sewer for it to eat. The most clingy ones are these twin cats. You liked them the most. Unfortunately, they were poisoned once and almost didn't make it. You cried for half a month. Senior, I brought back all the cats that you couldn't take home. And they all have their own names. When will you take me home too and give me a proper status? I was just being touched when suddenly he took a sharp turn and made a confession, which made me a bit at a loss. I only knew that during my high school days, I often ate at the braised chicken and yellow sauce restaurant downstairs. So from time to time, I would run into Silas. At that time, he was in junior high school, a very handsome boy with fair and clean skin. But I didn't expect that he didn't study hard and just stared at me and the cats every day. Seeing that my attention wasn't on him, Silas was even more straightforward. Senior, I like you. I like you very much. Being confessed to so formally for the first time, I felt a bit uncomfortable and my voice became a bit coquettish. How could you like me? Silas led me to sit down, handed me a cat, and spoke in a lazy and natural tone. It seemed as if I had asked a rather silly question. Is it that hard to like you? I stroked the top of the cat's head, pondering over his words. He then continued to explain, word by word, reaching deep into my heart. Your eyes are beautiful, your eyelashes are long, and your hair after washing in the morning is so fresh. You look cute in school uniforms, eye-catching in skirts, elegant with long hair, and playful with short hair. Besides the appearance, your inner self is even more important. You dared to catch a thief on the bus alone and catch customers who tried to skip paying in a busy store. You're strong and filial. You could pull 2 suitcases away from home by yourself without making your parents suffer. Senior, if you ask me why I like you, I could go on for a long time. Because you're so excellent, that's why I tried every means to be by your side. Even though it's a bit late, I can afford to wait. After Silas finished speaking, my eyes unconsciously became a bit moist. So loving someone could be this specific. Before, when I asked Cashin whether he really liked me or not, was it because I made such a big fuss chasing him that he agreed to be with me? Or did he really like me when he accepted my confession? But he was always ambiguous and couldn't say anything clear. Now, by comparison, I realized. In the eyes of the person you like, every moment is a highlight. Facing Silas's confession, I didn't think I had anything to hesitate about. Silas is young, good at coaxing people, can do housework, can sing, is an excellent cook and loves cats. He is 1.9 meters tall and has 8-pack abs. His stamina has no limit, and his strength is on the heavier side, but it can be negotiated. He is obedient and has many tricks. Do I have anything to consider? Isn't this my good fortune? Oh, right, an important point. He looks like my idol. I really want to share the same bed with my idol. Anyway, rounding it off, it's like I slept with my idol. Yes, I do. I covered my mouth and giggled. When I woke up in the morning, I happened to see Silas washing my underclothes in the bathroom. He still looked a bit aggrieved. Sorry, sister, I wasn't well prepared again. I swear, it won't be like this next time. I'll definitely be gentler, and I'll also keep underwear in your size at home. I really didn't mean to leave you with nothing to wear. As he was speaking, his face started to turn red. He didn't even dare to look at me. I, on the other hand, walked around in front of him alluringly. It's okay. You'll know better after more times. When I opened the fridge door, it seemed that I remembered something. Then I seriously instructed. By the way, you can use a bit more strength. You don't know, sister has been really starving these 2 years. After saying that, I opened the fridge and took out a bottle of Sprite and started drinking. I was like a fish that was about to die of thirst. When I turned around and closed the fridge door, Silas was standing in front of me. The desire in his eyes was hard to conceal, and his wet hands wrapped around my waist. Sister, I'm starving too. Why don't we do it a few more times? I still wanted more and put my arms around his shoulders. Good idea. Halfway through, Silas suddenly bit my ear. Sister, it's a pity that your erotic novel only has 30,000 words. I can help you write it up to 100,000 words. I was secretly glad. Fortunately, school starts in 3 days. These 3 days, let's enjoy ourselves to the fullest.